Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what we have today, guys, we have the final episode of our championship score predictions for the 2017/18 season. The season is going to be concluded this Sunday, guys, and honestly, wow, we have had a really dramatic season this year in the championship, but going into the final weekend, we still have everything to play for. We've still got 5 teams who could be relegated, still got 2 sides going for the playoffs, and 2 sides going for automatic promotion. So of course, I am really interested to see what you guys are going to be predicting in this week's championship games. So as always, guys, all of this weekend's fixtures will be listed in the description down below. Then you guys can easily go ahead and make your score predictions. Also as well, at the end of the video, what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the table calculator and basically see if all of my score predictions do come true this weekend, how the championship will look. And opposed to that, we're also going to have a look at the championship table if all of FIFA 18 score predictions come true, as like I said, we got a lot to play for this weekend, and it's fair to say me and FIFA have come out with some differing opinions. And just before we do get into any of my score predictions, guys, I must say a massive thank you to you guys for just all the support you have shown on all the videos throughout the whole season. Really, it has honestly been absolutely mad. I think in the last 2 years that I've been making championship videos, I think I've only gone ahead and missed 2 of them for the actual score prediction and roundup videos in the 2 seasons I've been doing it, so that's pretty decent consistency. But you guys have just shown overwhelming support since I did start making the videos, so for that I can't say thank you enough. Also as well, the videos probably from now for the next month or so probably will be slowing down a little bit, as the reason for that is of course that currently I am doing my A-levels, so I just don't have as much time to making videos at the moment. But as soon as they're out of the way, we'll be back to smashing it on the YouTube. But enough of that, guys, let's go ahead and get into my championship score predictions for the last time this season. And we start out with a massive game going on which has a lot riding on it for both sides. We've got Birmingham going up against Fulham. Now currently Birmingham are sat just 2 points above the relegation zone, and of course Fulham are chasing automatic promotion. For Fulham to go ahead and get that this year, they're of course going to have to win their game and hope that Cardiff slip up in theirs. But going away to Birmingham for Fulham is not going to be an easy tie for them, you know. Since Gary Monk has come in, a lot of their attacking players, Birmingham, have shown vast improvements really, you know. Before Gary Monk had come in, they were actually the lowest scorers in the league, but since then we've just seen him install confidence in some of their more flair players like Magoma and Jota lately, have been on terrific form. Defensively though, Birmingham are going to have to be very aware. You know, the form that some of the Fulham players are in at the moment is ridiculous. You know, Mitrovic at the moment has just been popping up with a goal in every game. Rival to that, they've also got Tom Kearney pulling the strings and Ryan Sessegnon as well. So for this game, I do see both sides scoring in what will be a very lively affair, but I'm just going to back Fulham for that 2-1 away victory. I think for their last defeat, Fulham, you're looking at around mid-December. So Fulham at the moment, ridiculous form, and I think that they may just edge past Birmingham. So there could be a couple nervy Birmingham fans. I'm going to say 2-1 Fulham. FIFA's going to say it'll be a 1-1 draw. The next game sees Bolton going up against Nottingham Forest. Another game with loads riding on it. This, of course, for the home side, it's going to make or break their season, really. Currently, Bolton are 1 point off safety. So realistically, even if they do win this game, they could still go down, and they're going to be praying for results to go their way, but they have to get the job done themselves in this game. And going up against Nottingham Forest, it's not going to be an easy tie, you know. Under Ita Karanka, he has made them a lot harder to beat since when they had Mark Warburton there, and I'd be very interested to see how Nottingham Forest actually go ahead and approach this game, and Bolton as well. You know, a point's not going to be enough for Bolton. So going into this one, Bolton haven't really been a side this season to go all gung-ho for a side, especially when they're playing at home. You know, they like to sit quite deep and solidify that 0-0 and then look to get a goal from either a set piece or on the counter-attack. But for this one, Bolton are really just going to have to go for it. I feel like there's going to be a lot of nerves in this game, but I am just going to back them for a slim 1-0 home victory. So I'll say 1-0, and FIFA is actually going to agree with me. Our next game then sees Brentford going up against Hull. Neither of these two have anything to play for, although I do see this one being quite an entertaining game actually. Both sides' attacks this season have been on fantastic form when you catch them at the right moment, and I feel like on the last day of the season with nothing to play for, I think this could be quite an expansive game really, of course. Brentford's playoff hopes were put to bed really a couple of weeks ago. They are currently 4 points off the playoffs. But realistically, going into next season, if Brentford can add a couple of more players to that spine they've already got in that team, I really think they could be challenging next year. It's a very impressive squad they've got there. Similar to Hull as well, I think if they can sort out their defensive issues and keep hold of some of their attacking threats, we could see them have a vastly better year next season. But in terms of this one, I see it being quite a high scorer, and I do see Brentford ending their season on a high, so I'll back them for a 3-2 home victory. FIFA's going to say it'll be a 0-0. Similar to Brentford, really, we then see Bristol City going up against Sheffield United. Two sides who this season have really been in that playoff picture for pretty much the majority of it, but they have just fallen short in the end. So for these two sides going up against each other on the last day, once again, I hope to see being quite a good game, actually. On the last day, you tend to get quite a few goals being scored in these games where there's nothing really rounding on it. You know, both attacks are going to look to be getting their goals up for the rest of the season. And in this game, we've also got Bobby Reid and Leon Clark, who feasibly still do have a chance of going ahead and winning the Golden Boot at the end of the season if they can bag a few goals in this one. So hopefully it's a high scorer. I am just going to edge towards a Bristol City home victory in this one. Sheffield United recently haven't been all too convincing. You know, they've had a couple of injuries to contend with, so I'm just going to back Bristol City for a 2-1 home victory. FIFA's going to say it'll be 1-0 Bristol City. Our next game sees Cardiff going up against Reading. So of course, promotion, it is in Cardiff's hands, and they've got a home game against Reading to go ahead and secure that, of course. With Fulham just 1 point behind them at the moment, really Cardiff are going to have to go ahead and win this game. So going up against Reading is quite an interesting time, of course. Reading still with that threat of relegation. Currently they are 2 points above the relegation zone, and you know, when you look at that abject performance they had last time out, a 4-0 home defeat at the hands of Ipswich Town, Cardiff really could go to town on them in this one. Although I can't see Reading being as poor as they were in that last game. There's got to be a reaction from those players, and it actually wouldn't surprise me to see Reading go 1-0 up in this game, and there being quite a few nervy Cardiff fans around there. But overall, you know, that Reading defence I'm just not really too convinced by, especially when you put some of those Cardiff attackers going up against that side. So for this game, I'm going to go ahead and back a Cardiff home victory by 3-1. FIFA's going to say that Reading will walk away with a 1-0 away victory. And our next game sees Derby County going up against Barnsley. Once again, a game where both sides really need the 3 points in this one. Although, what does make this game sort of interesting is really a point would be enough for Derby. So I'd be very interested to see how they actually go ahead and approach this game. Looking over Barnsley's away record this season, it's not looking overly promising, and especially as Derby have come back to form at just the right point in time of the season, you've got to be fancying the home side for this one. But Barnsley, of course, at this point in time, level on points with Burton Albion, and with them playing Preston this weekend, my club, it really is everything to play for. So for this one, myself being a Preston fan, I would like to think that Barnsley could get the job done for us, but realistically, I actually see this one heading towards a draw. So I'm going to back this one to finish as a 1-1 draw. Will that be enough for Barnsley? I'm not so sure. FIFA's also going to say it'll be a 1-1. The next game sees Ipswich going up against Middlesbrough. Of course, Middlesbrough already confirmed their place in the playoffs for this season. However, Middlesbrough could still actually fall to 6th in the Championship if they lose this game and Derby win theirs. You know, there's only 3 goals in their goal difference which do separate those two sides. So, and you know, everyone's going to be wanting to avoid Fulham in the playoffs. So it is important that Middlesbrough go ahead and carry this momentum into the playoffs. Not going to be an easy game though, going up against Ipswich. Of course, they should be riding on their confidence after picking up a 4-goal victory against Reading last time out. But overall, I think that with Middlesbrough having that extra bit to play for, I am going to back them for the 2-1 away victory in this game. FIFA's going to say it'll be 1-0 Ipswich. And this game then sees Leeds United going up against QPR. Two sides who have been very inconsistent really for the majority of the season. And I'd be interested to hear from both sets of fans as to what do you think should happen over the course of the summer for you guys to go ahead and improve on this season. But in terms of how I see this one game going, I mean, this one's on a knife edge really. Neither side have anything to play for, and it'll be interesting to see if there are some experimentations with the starting 11 for this game. You know, I'm not sure if both managers will go ahead and put out their strongest 11, but honestly, it would really sum up Leeds this season for them to go ahead and lose this game. I'm not going to lie about that. So for this game, I do actually see QPR coming out with a 2-1 away victory. So I'm going to back QPR for this one. In some of the big games this season, you know, especially away from home, they've come up with the goods. So for this one, one. I'm going to back them for a 2-1 away victory. FIFA's going to say it'll be 1-0 QPR. And let's get into Millwall going up against Aston Villa. Now, I must admit, this Millwall have probably the slimmest chances ever of going ahead and making it into the Championship playoffs. So for Millwall to go ahead and make it, they're going to need to win this game by 5-0. I think Derby are going to have to lose 5-0 as well, and Preston are also going to have to lose. So feasibly, that's not really going to happen, but you can't take anything away from Millwall this season. They have undoubtedly been probably the surprise package coming up to the Championship this season, and they have been phenomenal. Going up against Aston Villa, who are of course already secured their place in the playoffs quite a long time ago. I'd be interested to hear some opinions of some Villa fans as to how confident are you actually going into the playoffs. Of course, a lot of people's favourites at the moment just has to be Fulham with the football they're playing, but Aston Villa on their day certainly capable of, you know, making a result against some of the big sides. So I'd be interested to hear about that one. But in terms of this game, I actually see it heading towards a 1-1 draw. I think that will sum up Millwall's season quite well, actually, to go ahead and finish with a solid point against Villa. So I'll say 1-1. FIFA's going to say a 0-0. And our next game sees my club Preston North End going up against Burton Albion. Once again, both sides having a lot to play for, and both sides needing to go ahead and pick up 3 points. And as that's the case, I'm really intrigued to see how both managers go ahead and set up for this game. Of course, Burton have gone ahead and won their last 3 games, and they're going to have to continue that trend for a hope of survival this weekend. Going up against Preston, of course, we're currently sat at 2 points off Derby, so we're going to need Barnsley to do us a favour for us to go ahead and get into the playoffs. But, you know, we can't overlook Burton themselves. You know, that's going to be an incredibly tough challenge to go ahead and get past, especially when you consider that this season the teams we've struggled against at home especially have been the sides who have sat fairly deep. So I feel like Josh Harrop's going to be a key cog in the Preston midfield for this one if we are going to unlock that Burton Albion defence. But even so, they're going to have to come at us for this one. So I'm very intrigued to see how the flow of this game actually goes. But I am just going to back Preston for a 2-1 home victory. Even that, I don't really think that will be enough. I think that Derby will probably pick up a result themselves. But I'm going to say 2-1 Preston. FIFA's going to say 1-0 Burton. Let's get then see Sheffield Wednesday going up against Norwich. Sheffield Wednesday lately been playing some very good football. You know, they've had a lot of their returning players coming back from injury, and you know, we saw that last week. They went ahead and picked up a very solid 0-0 draw against Wolves. Going up against this Norwich side, once again, been a very inconsistent team for the whole of the season, really. I'd be interested to hear from some Norwich fans as to how do you think your team's going to fare next season. Of course, there's no guarantee that you're going to get Angus Gunn back. It's probably looking more than likely that James Maddison will leave as well. Of course, Houlihan going as well. So I'd be interested to hear some Norwich fans as to what's your mindset like going into next season. But in terms of how I see this one going, I think Sheffield Wednesday have been very impressive lately. So I'm just going to back them for a 2-1 home victory in this one. I think that they're ending the season very strong and going into next season with some real momentum. So I'll say 2-1 Wednesday. FIFA's going to say 1-0 Norwich. And then our last game to go ahead and predict that sees top going up against bottom this season in the Championship. We've got Sunderland going up against Wolves. Of course, Sunderland's fate in the Championship to League One was sealed quite a while ago, and the same could be said for Wolves as well, really. So although both sides will be playing in, you know, completely opposite divisions next season, there's not really too much riding on this. Although Wolves do have the opportunity to go ahead and break 100 points. They're currently sat on 99, and you know, Nuno's that sort of manager who's going to want that accolade going into the Premier League. Although I don't feel like Wolves will be completely at it in this one. You know, they probably have been celebrating quite a lot since they did get that promotion. And Sunderland, you know, in fairness to them, when I saw them play against Fulham the other week, they actually weren't that bad. You know, going forward, they had a couple of issues to go ahead and cause that Fulham side. So I'll be interested to see how they go up against this one, especially as well now that they don't have Chris Coleman at the helm anymore. But we could see Wolves completely run away from this one. I'd like to see it be a bit of a good game, but I am going to go ahead and back Wolves for a 3-1 away victory, and I think that will top up their season pretty well, really. So I'll say 3-1 Wolves. FIFA's going to say 1-0 Sunderland. So guys, there you have it. There are my Championship score predictions for the final weekend. So like I said, guys, make sure you leave your comments in the comments down below for what you think will happen. So if we do look at the Championship table, if all of FIFA 18 score predictions do come true, then this is how the Championship will look at the end of Sunday's fixtures. So as you can see, FIFA is predicting Fulham to go ahead and sneak into that second spot, and then for relegation they've gone ahead and predicted Sunderland, Barnsley and Bolton. If you then contrast that to mine, if all of my predictions do come true, this is how the championship table will shape up. So of course we see Wolves break 100 points, Cardiff I think are going to hold on for second, and then look at that, in 6th and 7th I'm predicting my club Preston to miss out on the playoffs by goal difference. That's going to be absolutely heartbreaking. And then for relegation for me, we've got Sunderland, Burton and Barnsley. So I'm very interested to see what you guys are predicting for the final weekend. But like I said guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you do subscribe for some regular championship content. But apart from that guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.